going to talk about today, because a lot of times people ask me, well, Laurel, why can you make low dollar ads work so well when everyone is spending, tens of thousands of dollars in order to get results? And I tell them it is because my ecosystem is built around what social media platforms were built to do, to be social, right? And a lot of people are trying to shortcut their way to success by putting all kinds of friction points in between themselves and their ideal customers. What if we could shorten that point from where people first find out about you to having that immediate conversation that goes a very long way, right? And I often see too many people trying to put so many friction points in front of having a conversation with that customer, because, and it's a good reason, they say that they want to go for higher quality, okay? But what I want you guys to understand is the reason that my students get success almost right out the gate is because we understand these 3 levels, okay? Whenever you need to validate an offer or you need more conversations, that's the most volume, right? If you have not validated an offer, or if you are stuck not knowing why your offer isn't converting, you need to have the most volume of conversations possible, okay? Now, once we have more conversations, you validated your offer, you've sold it 2 to 3 more times, we can micro step into a way that is going to create a little bit of friction, and we're going to be able to still have the volume that we need in order to hit our goal. Then we're going to micro step into quality. Now, let me actually break down what this means, because this is super important that you guys understand this. If you or someone that you know has ever spent tens of thousands of dollars running a webinar only to get 0 sales, it's because they try to get the highest amount of quality before they ever validated the offer, right? Because if you're doing a webinar funnel, right, there are so many friction points. There's the landing page, right, where they have to put their name and email. That's a friction point. If they go to the webinar page, watching this 10, 15, 30, sometimes 90-minute webinar, that's a friction point. Then they have to click this little button and get on your calendar, right? That is a friction point before they get to the conversation here. This is where you're trying to go for the highest quality possible. But what a lot of people don't realize is if you're paying $10 a lead, you have to remember only 40% of people, if you're lucky, are even going to press play on that webinar, and an even lower percentage of people are going to make it to actually see your offer. I see so many times they get 100 people to opt in, and then they're like, Laurel, my webinar is not working. And then I actually go into their analytics. I'm like, you only got 20 people to press play and none of them made it to your offer. So it has nothing to do with your offer, right? And then only out of this 40%, and we'll be generous here, only 10% will make it to the application page and so forth. Do you guys see like how many friction points are in that? And it's even worse if you have a low ticket funnel, right? Because if instead of a webinar, this is a sales page, only 2% of people are going to buy that low ticket offer. And if you need the volume to sell your high ticket offer, that's really a slow path to cash, right? Because if you're paying $60 to $70 to acquire a customer, you're going to run out of cash really fast unless you're selling the shit out of this and getting more people there. So this is why it doesn't matter whether you want to do a low ticket funnel webinar. This, in my case, in the beginning is irrelevant. We need to get more eyes here, because if you're spending all of this money to get people to see this offer, it better be fucking good, right? It better be freaking good. And so what we're actually going to talk about today is here, how to get the most volume. And this is where my students have messenger conversations. That is what we optimize for. Okay. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Now, there are two places in the ecosystem that are built to literally start messenger conversations. Okay. So two places, power content, and something that I've been testing over the last 2 years with my agency clients that I just started talking about. I call it a conversion multiplier. Okay. Now, if you imagine that webinar funnel, right? You've got your landing page, you've got the webinar. The way that I came up with the conversion multipliers is because about 1.5 years ago, very briefly, right after the iOS update, I had a client whose webinar just stopped performing. It's not because her offer sucked, but it's because market saturation happened, change in the marketplace happened, and this happens to everyone. Just because you have something that converts, it is not going to convert forever. And so sometimes we have to take a step back and come back to having messenger conversations with our audience. So I'll give you guys an example. So her webinar stopped working. And so I did two things. One, I had her redo her power content videos, right? Because that is going to start conversations. That's what's built to start conversations, right? So we'll have power content. But I also introduced something that was a little different. I call these conversion multipliers, and you guys are going to see here why. Okay, so these are 60-second reels. Everyone's always asking me, Laurel, where do 60-second reels fit into this strategy? I will say this. A lot of you guys, whenever you think Instagram Reels, who is the first person you guys can think of? Alex Hormozi. I'm pretty sure almost everyone in the room is thinking Alex Hormozi. Here's why we do not want to try to copy what Alex Hormozi is doing. If you actually pay attention to Alex Hormozi's content, you will find out that he has nothing to sell you. I don't know about you guys, but I have things to sell and I need to make money. Okay, Alex Hormozi is in it for the long game. He wants to help everyone for free, which is fine. There's a way that we can actually tap into that strategy. But today I want you guys to understand that we need to do our reels in a different way. He is optimizing his reel strategy for impressions. He wants to get in front of as many eyeballs as possible. We need a reels strategy that is going to get us closer to our goal, which is having more conversations. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. Okay. So whenever my Lean on Laurel students first come into the program and they don't have a validated offer, or they are not making $15,000 a month consistently, these are the two places that we generally start. Here's why: because the power content is going to generate conversations. This one right here is going to generate even more faster, okay? But there are a little caveats and nuances to why long-term we don't want to do this to cold traffic, okay? Because if you think about this, right, and I teach you guys this inside the program, so make sure if you haven't watched the Power Content Workshop that you do that. The power content falls under what I would call more prolific content. This is going to be content that is longer form that we can leverage over and over again. I will actually use this as an example, okay? So let's say I'm having a messenger conversation with a lead who wants my $5 a day Facebook ad strategy, right? And they ask me the question, well, Laurel, I don't really understand, like, how are you using videos top of funnel? Instead of me having this long form, drawn out conversation in Messenger, I could literally just give her one of these power content videos and she's going to have absolute clarity on what my power content strategy is about, right? So this is top of funnel, right? Because this is going to cold. And check this out. We're actually not even going to talk about having an offer. What if there was a way that you could get clients without making a power offer? Who would be freaking excited to skip the whole power offer altogether, right? Woo, I know whenever I did this training for my Lean on Laurel students 2 weeks ago, they could not have been more pleased. It is good to have a power offer. It will accelerate the process, but there is another way, and it is the same way that I built my business. I didn't have a power offer the first 3 years of my business, but I still got clients. I still had over 2,000 people buy my $7 program. Why? I think positioning is way more important than an offer. I positioned myself as an expert. How did I do that? Through the ads ecosystem that I show you guys in this program. Even if you never make a single power offer and run traffic to it, there is a way that you can get clients and you can scale rather quickly. How do I know this? Because I made my first $1 million before I even had this. I worked hard on positioning. So that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Because think about this, okay? We're going to utilize messenger conversations everywhere, right? So these videos right here to cold traffic, we want these to be 3 to 5 minutes, okay? There's a reason that I make the top of funnel power content 3 to 5 minutes is because you're running it to cold traffic. But we're giving cold traffic a taste of what our signature methodology and mechanism actually looks like. These conversion multipliers are going to be built to solve specific problems. Now, here is the nuance that a lot of people miss. So I'm gonna break this down. A lot of you guys are confusing situations with actual problems. We want to solve problems. We cannot solve people's situations. We solve problems. Let me give you a direct example of what I mean by that. A lot of you guys are putting out content that says, give me the next 5 minutes and I'm going to show you how to make an additional $5,000 this week. That's a situation, right? In order to make an extra $5,000. What is it that you're actually going to show them that is going to solve their problem of why they are not making enough income? I'm going to say that one more time. What is this? What are the specific problems? So let's say someone is in a situation where they're making less than 5K in their business, right? You're not going to solve that with a power content video. But yet I see so many people solving that problem. That is not a problem, that is a situation. What are the problems that prevent them from getting here? Well, maybe they have no email strategy, right? They're not sending emails. Maybe they don't know how to convert their IG followers. Maybe they don't know how to convert messenger conversations into calls. Maybe they don't even know how to get messenger conversations, right? All of you guys are sitting here today because this is probably the problem that you want to solve. You either don't have enough messenger conversations or you're struggling to convert them into calls. That is a very specific problem that's keeping you from a situation that is ideal for you, which is having the life that you want. But yet I see so many people trying to solve the problem of having a life that they want, you know, being in a situation where, like, I see relationship coaches doing this all the time. They're like, well, I'm helping them solve the problem that their partner and them don't talk enough. That's a situation. What are the problems that led to that situation? Right? What are the problems that are leading to their partner and them not talking enough? Is it because as soon as he gets home from work, he cracks open a beer and goes straight to the TV? That's a problem. Maybe when they're out in public, he talks to every woman except his wife. That is a problem. How do we solve those problems that lead to situations like lack of communication? Does that make sense? So we have to figure out what are 3 problems that we can actually help our people solve almost immediately, right? One of my best performing conversion multipliers is actually the script to these 60-second conversion multipliers. I had over 400 people over the last probably month raise their hand to get that script to them, okay? But before we do power content, before we do conversion multipliers, we need to identify what are 3 specific problems that we can solve for our audience. Because if we can actually help them solve these problems, right, these become the 3 pieces of power content and the resources, right, that will help them solve these specific problems. They become the conversion multipliers. A conversion multiplier is literally just a 60-second reel that promotes the value bomb, which is the free resource. Okay. So if we look at the 60-second conversion multiplier, right, this is what that script will look like. Let me actually bring this up. And don't worry, I'm going to give you guys this resource at the bottom of this training. So these are the 3 that I use the most. Okay. I use this one the most because it mimics my power content. Now, if you go to my Instagram, you could see, if you just wave right here, like over all of these different videos, you could literally see where my conversion multipliers are, right? Whoa, did you guys see that? 2 comments, 2 comments, 3 comments, 5 comments, 69 comments. What did Laurel do different here? Laurel did this. Hook, value story, and value bomb. In this video, I'm actually giving away my messenger SOP that I actually share with my Lean on Laurel students. Super valuable, right? That is another nuance that a lot of people miss, is that this value bomb needs to be something that people actually want and will actually help them. It's not a throwaway. It's something super, super valuable. If we continue our little journey of going down, whoa, 61, that must be another conversion multiplier, right? You can tell, like, if you just go to my Instagram, like, which ones are my conversion multipliers, right? I mean, there was another one right here, didn't do as well, but it's got 19 comments. But these are the 3 that I use, okay? Hook, value story, value bomb. You should recognize that formula. It's very similar to my power content strategy. These 2 right here will actually just straight up tell people, here's why you need my value bomb, right? Hey, coaches, this checklist has the top performing Reels ad that has led to 30 to 40 times the return on ad spend for my clients, and I want to give it to you for absolutely free. People like Tasha used it last week to go from getting only 20 calls on her calendar to getting over 200 calls in a single weekend. Here's proof. You don't have to put proof, but it helps. I also put into the hands of Nathan. I'm just looking at Nathan right now. That went from not getting any messenger conversations to closing his first 2 clients in the last month. Here's the screenshot he posted inside my Facebook group. Drop me a line below this video and I'll put it in your hands so that you can start getting more messenger conversations this week, right? So it legit just talks about the value bomb. This one here, same way. So we've got one that just is pretty much power content. Here's how I help my clients get more messenger conversations. Oh, you want the SOP that I'm talking about in this video? Drop me a line below, right? So these are the conversion multipliers that I'm talking about in this training right here. So it's very, very, very simple, right? But it's not easy to try to figure out what we're actually trying to do. So Carlos just asked, what's the difference between the conversion multipliers versus 15 pieces of content besides the length of the video? They're pretty much the same, right? Except the conversion multipliers are based on giving away the value bomb, where the power content is based on giving away your mechanism, right? I want you guys to understand these are going to start more conversations, but these videos right here, and right, because once people are engaging with these videos and these, you're going to make your warm audience, right? Then you're going to have your power content that's middle of funnel, that is longer form. This is where you can literally make power content as long as you want. I take that 15 pieces of content and I go deep on all of my videos and my mechanisms. This will drive more messenger conversations. This will drive sales, conversions. That is why people who are wasting their time doing nothing but Alex Hormozi type reels, they're not going to get many clients, because these longer form pieces of content, this is what I call prolific content. This is what gives people clarity on what you have to offer, right? People go into my Lean on Laurel program without me having to get on a phone call. Why? Prolific content. People already know and understand what they're buying before they get into the program, because I'm so transparent on what I give away. My Lean on Laurel program is not about more content, it's about implementation. Your conversion multiplier, so Nina just asked, I want to be absolutely clear, conversion multipliers give away they're just built to give away the value bomb. Your power content gives away the value bomb, but it's really built to get 25% video views to build our invisible list that we can market to again and again. So what we need to get right are these conversion multipliers and the power content. I get my Lean on Laurel students to start here and I have them do 5. You probably say, Laurel, I don't have 5 value bombs. You don't need 5 value bombs. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to create the value bomb until someone asks for it. If no one asks for it, don't create it. Then once you have 1 or 2 value bombs, then you can go back and make those value bombs the ones that you're giving away in your power content. Here's the thing though, once we have 1,000 or more people watching our power content, I don't want you guys to run your conversion multipliers there. I want you to run them here to warm traffic, because guess what's going to happen? Once you start running into warm traffic, boy, that's where the magic happens, guys. That is really where the magic happens. Think about this. If you're running power content and you're boosting your middle of funnel stuff, you could do it through the ads manager or boosted post, whatever. And you're just doing 3 weekly pieces of content and you're boosting it to the people who are watching here. And then you're running a $2 a day conversion multiplier to warm, your competition ain't got nothing on you. I promise. Conversion multipliers give away the value bomb. Conversion multipliers are built for conversations, right? Remember that story I told you about my client with the webinar, right? The landing page and all of that jazz. Her webinar stopped converting. She was getting the opt-ins, but no one was watching her webinar. So therefore, no one was booking calls. So what I did was I worked with her assistant to create 3 conversion multipliers Literally gave away the resources from the webinar, fed them the same content except in PDF form. What do you think happened? In one weekend, we booked 200 calls in one weekend. Did you guys hear what I just said? 200 calls in one weekend. We leveraged leads we had already paid for. I want you guys to understand how much it is costing you guys by not doing the content in this program. Like, think about that right now. How many of you guys have been sitting on your ass for months now, not having done a single damn thing in this program? It is costing you money. It is costing you money. Like, so many of you guys would be so much further ahead if you guys would just do this. Notice there's no power offer, no scary power offer. If you just did this, I guarantee you in 90 days, your business will be different. So check this out. I just want to give you guys a realistic look. So let's see. Remove the spotlight. Yeah, so many of you guys are leaving money on the table. So everything's not hunky-dory, right? So I'm going to give you guys, and I tweeted this out because I love using Twitter just to kind of test content, and this one did really well yesterday. But this is a true story. I like to share stories, but I want to give you guys a realistic look of what we do in Lean on Laurel, right? So a few days ago, had a new Lean on Laurel. She needed to have conversations to get feedback on a new offer. So I helped her create a value bomb that would attract who she thought was her ideal client, okay? So I helped her write a 60-second Reels ad to give it away, and we threw it into the ads manager for $5 a day. On the first day, she had 34 people raise their hands to say, I want that thing, right? So we ran the conversion multiplier as an ad. She had 34 people say they want that thing. To everyone that said, I want that thing, I helped her craft an exact DM strategy. Hey, I see you want my guide. I actually have two versions of it. Are you here or are you here? How you answer that will determine which I give you. And we'll talk about messenger conversations here. I just want you guys to understand this flow. The result, here's what happened. 16 people ghosted. How many of you guys are getting people ghosting you whenever you do the messenger conversation? See, it happens. That's just part of the game, right? 18 people responded. 0 of the 18 people actually needed that specific value bomb. 11 of the 18 people weren't ready for that value bomb, so I helped her create another one on the spot and delivered it, right? So I helped her write a new 60-second reel to give away that value bomb. So let me unpack that. So we created a conversion multiplier. We ran a $5 ad. After one day, she had over 30 people say, I want that thing. How many of you guys are actually giving people the value bomb when they straight up ask for it instead of sparking an actual conversation with people? That's a main mistake that people make, is they're like, thank you for watching my video. Here's that value bomb. Here's the reality, guys. Most people who ask for that specific value bomb don't actually need that value bomb at that particular moment. They're just collecting a thing that you said that you were going to give away for free. And so that's why it's important that we diagnose what they actually want before giving them any type of resource, right? So we diagnosed what people actually needed. I helped her. That's what I do in Lean on Laurel. She showed me the messenger conversations. I typed up some, I was like, here, go back to them and say this. And she did. And so we found out what type of value bomb they actually needed, right? So even though that first conversion multiplier was a quote fail, was it really a fail? No. We got conversations that helped us fix the problem, right? I helped her launch a new 60-second Reels ad to give that new value bomb away. This time, she got 86 hand raises. We tweaked the DM script to reflect the changes, right? Same script, did the same thing again. Hey, I see you want my guide to blah. I have two versions of it. How do you answer that? Here's the result. 11 people ghosted. See, we still got people ghosting, but 75 people responded this time. She was able to transition 2 of those to a phone call. Now I'm going to work with her on transitioning those leads into more phone calls, right? Now she's got the messenger flow, but she only converted 2 out of 75. Typically, we want to convert probably 8%. Just depends on the offer. So I'm going to work with her on transitioning those leads into more phone calls. We're also going to double down and spend $10 a day on this ad to get more volume of conversations. Here's a little insight to what her and I will work on next together that will easily drive more calls. I'm having her keep a spreadsheet of the major objections and specific problems she's helping them solve in Messenger. And we are then going to start crafting her prolific content. 60-second reels are awesome for driving initial conversations, but takes a lot of energy to transition into calls, even if you're giving value in Messenger. Here's the strategy that will compound. And that, my friends, is what we're talking about today, this strategy. But I wanted to give you guys a realistic look that it's not all hunky-dory the first time you launch something. But a lot of you guys are like, oh, that didn't work. Notice I said the conversion multipliers is great when you need to drive conversations, but what's going to make the conversations in Messenger easy is exposing people to your long-form prolific content. This is why it's super important that we're doing prolific content. I did this all organic for like the first year of my business, and I did really well. I made my first and second 6 figures, but just think if I would have utilized the $5, $2 ad strategies I'm showing you guys today, right? My business is, on its way to 3 million. I'd probably be on my way to 10 million if I would have just fucking ran cheap freaking ads. But you guys don't have to figure that out. I already figured that out for you, right? So when you're using a conversion multiplier, it's the same KPIs that we use for conversion ads, right? If we're running our conversion multipliers, we're still looking for 40% hook rate, the 8% CTR all, and your unique click-through rate, you want it to be 3% or more. The KPIs only differ between power content and every other ad. So I'm going to open up the floor. I'm going to remove my spotlight. I am going to allow you guys to unmute yourself. And let's talk about this, because that's what I want. I want you guys to be able to, like, a lot of times people think Lean on Laurel is about doing all of these complicated ad strategies. 80%, probably, I'll even say 85% of my Lean on Laurel students, we are just optimizing this right here. Because they don't know how to have messenger conversations. They don't know how to create the right value bombs. They launch one and then they're like, eh. But I tell my Lean on Laurel students, look at this as a flywheel, right? We started with our conversion multipliers here. We don't sit on our hands and wait for our conversion multipliers to work. We continue putting together the ecosystem. The faster we can get, like I tell my Lean on Laurel students, I want all of this up in 7 days. I want all of this up in 7 days. So much that I actually just announced that we're doing a concierge service for the first 30 days in Lean on Laurel. Like, because it is, I was at an event this weekend with my mentor in Seattle, and one of my Lean on Laurel students was there. And he was giving a presentation to everyone, and he was like, I lost so much fucking money by not knowing this. He was working with a coach. He knew about me. Like he was in my world. Some other coach with a better sales message than I do. I'm not really, I don't consider myself good at sales. I just show people what I do and that's it. But some other guru who had a fancier sales message got him to spend tens of thousands of dollars to help him put together a webinar, right? And every time they would go to the coaching call, he was like, well, you need better emails. You need better this. You need better that. People weren't getting through their funnel. He joined Lean on Laurel less than a month ago. His calendar this week is fucking full, just from the conversion multipliers. He hasn't even executed the other part of the strategy yet. He literally said in front of everyone, he's like, not being And Laurel's program literally cost me tens of thousands of dollars and a year of lost revenue. So Gonzalo just asked a really great question. He's a service provider. I offer done-for-you funnel building. Do you have any training on how to create a framework? I understand we need to create power content, right? Yes. Guys, my very first, I was a service provider. I had an agency. I did the same fucking content that I'm doing right now. It is just because you're a done for you, and I'm saying this very passionately because I want you guys to fucking understand this. It does not matter whether you are a done for you service, done with you, or do it yourself. The content is fucking the same. If you go look on my YouTube channel, the content is the same as in this program. This program's content is the same that is in my Lean on Laurel program. Why did people choose me as their service provider? Because they saw I know how to do this shit. Every service provider loves to hide behind, and I'm not picking on Gonzalo. I'm just like trying to get you guys to understand this. Like, so many of you guys are hiding behind your content. It is not gonna fucking work. Content is fucking free. I don't care how special you think that your secret is, it's not a secret. And someone else is gonna give it away for free. Right? Gonzalo, you don't even do content. You should. That's how I booked out my first agency. Like, I didn't even have a coaching program when I started. I just started going live teaching Facebook ads. People were like, man, this girl. Now, here's what I did do very well, if I do say so myself. I noticed a gap in the marketplace. I noticed that ads were fucking expensive. Me at CBS, I was doing these like $5 ads in every single market to launch these television shows. And I was like, everyone's saying how ads are expensive, but yet I've driven millions, over 70 million views with these $5 ads for CBS. I wonder if they could work for business owners. Gap, right? I went there and I was like, I don't know if this will work for you, but this is how we do it at the TV station. And more and more business owners were like, yes, it worked. This worked really well. Let me show you. Yes, come on Zoom. Let's record the call. Boom, content. A lot of you guys probably don't realize I started as a brick and mortar done for you agency. Do you know how I got pulled into the coaching space? I didn't want to go into the coaching space. That's fucking hard as hell. You guys pulled me into the coaching space with my content. So just because you target a very specific niche in your content doesn't mean that those are your peeps. I got pulled into the ClickFunnels click by showing how to do $5 ads for brick and mortar businesses. True story. It still attracted another audience that ended up working out better for me.